updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. It's always my pleasure to sit here and chat with you guys this morning. Before we get into our conversation, I'm going to give you your news in 90 seconds. So effective the 6th of June 2023, 13 countries can now travel to Canada visa-free without a temporary residence visa. This announcement was made by the Canadian Minister of Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship, Sean Fraser, on a visit to Winnipeg, Canada. Trinidad and Tobago is among the elite 13 countries listed. For all 13 countries, travelers must have held either a Canadian visa in the last 10 years or currently hold a valid U.S. non-immigrant visa. Additionally, Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley has advised Her Excellency the President Christine Kangaloo that on Monday, August 14th, 2023 is the date for local government elections. Nomination day is set for Monday, June 26, 2023. And also, police officers are investigating a robbery which occurred at Core Jewelry Store at the Port Mall on Monday, June 5th, 2023. Allegedly, two masked men raided the store and constrained the store clerk. Security footage showed the men exiting the store with bags filled with stolen jewelry items. Citizens with information used to investigate can call 800 tips. And also, tragically, the nephew of deceased Teresa Allen Adams drowned at the Argyle waterfall yesterday evening. Mr. Justin Arthur was in Tobago for the funeral of the Adams couple, and we send condolences out to the family. And lastly, the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation will host the 36th anniversary of the Tobago Heritage Festival from July the 21st to August the 1st. On the 21st of July, the Miss Heritage Personality Competition and the Calypso Monarch will be held at the Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Screening for Miss Heritage Personality will be held on Saturday, the 17th of June, 2023, and is open to ladies between the ages of 18 to 40 years old. And this is your news in 90 seconds. Guys, as we recap a bit about what's going on in the news headlines, I just want to send condolences out to the Arthur and Allan family again. This one has really hit home for me. You know, these are some friends that I hung out with on Saturday night. We went to Fuzzy Panda and we had dinner there. So it's really unfortunate, this situation, you know. So I just want to say condolences going out to the Arthur and Allan family. You know, Justin was a really joyful soul. We had such a good time together. Just a happy person all around, and he looked forward to celebrating his anniversary with his girlfriend yesterday. And his flight to go back to the UK was supposed to be tomorrow, Thursday. So it's just unfortunate that after he came to Tobago to celebrate the life of his aunt, Teresa, that he himself would have passed in such a tragic death. But again, you know, we always believe that God is in control during this time, and he's going to send the comfort that is needed to that family. But guys, regardless of that, we have to get into this morning's conversation, as somber as the mood might be on the island, as we've been facing a number of back-to-back deaths, whether it be by murder or just by tragic incidents. And this morning, we're going to get into a conversation regarding what's happening in the scrap iron industry. And to have this conversation with me this morning, I have Mr. Allan Ferguson, who is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association. Good morning, Mr. Ferguson. How are you doing?
Good morning to Tobago, and good morning to you. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you as well, and a lot has been going on with the Scrap Iron Dealers Association, and we remember that last year the Prime Minister called a halt, a cease, until January 2023 for the scrap iron dealers to basically get themselves together, as a number of theft was happening with iron throughout Trinidad and Tobago, copper wires. We saw a number of, those lines being cut down for resale purposes. Just all wrong, the situation was bad. And we even saw where there were a number of projects being done by the government where they would have bought the materials for those projects and they would disappear. Gates were being cut out. It was really, it was a bad situation all wrong. And so the intervention mechanism that the government put in place was to halt scrap iron dealers last year. But they promised that they would have opened back the industry after much consultation and coming up with a policy to deal with the industry in January. However, we have not heard much of an update regarding that. So tell us where you are in regards to the negotiation with the government at this time.
Well, we had a discussion with them about last 3 weeks ago. They promised to work with us to make the industry much better. At the moment, right now we're limping. It wasn't like how it was. This industry is an industry that you need to move fast. It's not an industry to take one today, one tomorrow, and no, it can't work like that. We just operate by volumes. We don't operate by today, we do two. We take a rest tomorrow. We try to operate each and every day in the week to try to do volume, because that's how this industry works. To answer some of your question, what the stealing was taking place, we were in the early stages when we see certain things taking place, we will immediately ask the government, based on we understand that TSTT will condemn a lot of the TSTT wires. We will make a step one time to ask the government to put a halt on export of copper from Trinidad. So we will be able to slow down the step taking place. The government didn't listen, and the stealing continue. So the association also met with TSTT to put an offer on the table to make sure that all the stealing TSTT wire stop, because we will know what we had to do to slow down all these steps that are taking place with all these wire. So we understand the industry. So we're not going to take blame for people coming off the streets who probably was not scrap dealers and stealing TSTT wire. We would not take blame for that. But as the president, I understand also too that there were some members in our industry who was exporting copper. And we understand that is only people in the industry could export copper. So we understand that. So with that, saying that, I will have to, as a leader, I will have to take some blame. No matter, I was not taking part in no stealing, I was not buying, and I was begging people not to steal TSTT wire. So I will take blame for that. But as a leader, something stopped by me. Okay?
And in regards to moving forward, they would have promised you guys that January would have been the date that you would come back to the table to decide how you would move forward. And what is the status of that now? What is the state of how the scrap iron dealers are going to move forward with new policy?
Well, this new policy that the government gave us to work with, as any other thing, I don't like a lot of the regulations, but we had to work with the government, because listening to most of my members all over Trinidad and Tobago, the regulations, we know it can't work, but we have to give it its try, because people have a way that if you don't give nothing a try, they seem to say that you only want to complain. So we had to work with the government to make sure that whatever they put in place could work. But I could tell you like a person who operates in scrap in Tobago, if they don't have a scrapyard license, they cannot store no material in front of the house. People who working in the dumps and them, they weren't able to even work because the government didn't look at these people Whilst we explain to them there's thousands of people work around these dumps. They didn't put nothing in place for it. So we is here this morning to have a meeting with the members and scrap dealers in Tobago to try to brief them about the law and how we could go forward to make this industry better also in Tobago.
Right, excellent. However, the delays that took place in regards to the new legislation, it would have caused a pile up for a number of persons who are scrap iron dealers. So now with this new legislation, you're saying, okay, they're not allowed to store it at their homes or residential areas or stuff like that without having the requisite licensing. But that time that they were not in business per se, there has been a huge pile up of the scrap iron itself. And is the association making any attempts to try to help the dealers in regards to transportation and just the type of labor that is needed to clear out the backlog of scrap that they may have on their hands at this time?
Well, the association cannot help out with the removal, but what we here to do is to give guidance and give the necessary assistance in how they could how they have to what they have to do to able to remove it. And we as dealers in Trinidad and the association, we want to make it as much easy for the guys over here to bring their material to Trinidad. We was having a meeting with the the Secretary of Health. I think it's Friday, because you see, we need to set up something in Tobago to make it much more easier for these fellas and them who operate in each and every day. These is fellas that work hard to remove that. They remove all these waste like aluminum, copper, batteries from all the rivers and the ravines and from in the bush. And we help in climate change. We help in saving the environment. And this is what this industry is about, saving the environment. So we are here today also to explain some things to our members and people who are involved in the industry, because we need to bring some ease to Tobago in reference to this recycling. Because you see, it's not about recycling iron alone. We are about to try to bring to Tobago not about iron alone, but we want to try to let members and people who are involved in the industry know that we're shipping away a little bit from scrap iron and going to more recycling of oil, paper, plastic, and even food, old food.
So a more environmentally sustainable way of doing business. Excellent. And but you are really here today to invite the scrap iron dealers or persons interested in getting into the industry to come to the forum that you guys would be hosting today at Studley Park. So tell us about that forum. It's supposed to be starting at
10 o'clock.
10 a.m. this morning. So tell them about that session.
Yeah. What we will do first is that we bring, you see, we need to identify people who is involved in scrap iron and who involved in recycling. So what we did, because people just come off the street and just go and steal people thing and people don't know. So what we do first, we bring stickers to identify these as our members.
Dealers.
They will have a sticker on each one at the front door that we could identify. Have a number the people could call. The people, if they see them stealing anything, they also have a number we could recognize who it is. So the thing about it is that to show members, based on what happened, we need to make change. Because the whole thing about it, if you want to make your industry better and you want to make this industry much more than what it was, we need to make change. We need to conduct ourselves how we go about doing business. We need to change our dress, how we do it too. Because some of them dress up in all kind of way to go into business place and people homes and things. We want to let them know that we need to change.
Bring a new standard to the industry.
Yes, and that is what we is about to tell them today. So we need to make some changes, and We would like people to know not to deal with people who do not have the sticker on the vehicle, because you see it causing a hammock, it causing a lot of damage to this industry, because people just coming off the street and go and steal and nothing to identify them.
Excellent, excellent. So there's going to be a streamlining process for members and for scrap iron dealers. All right, that is excellent. And so, guys, you heard it here this morning. If you are a scrap iron dealer or interested in getting into the industry, interested in understanding what the new legislation regarding scrap iron in Trinidad and Tobago is about and how it affects you, especially as a scrap iron dealer here in Tobago, you want to be a part of that media conference that is happening at 10 a.m. this morning. It is going to be held at Caledonia, number 1 Caledonia Road, Studley Park, in Mount St. George, which is opposite the landfill, at 10 a.m. again, and they're going to be starting promptly. And they indicated that at 11:30.
No. What we do, we have a meeting with the members,
Right.
and then we have the news conference at
Okay.
11:30.
Excellent.
And
So
then we have a hamper drive at 12:30, where we give away hampers to our members and people who are involved in the industry. So it's a day of a lot of activities in Tobago till this evening.
So you would also be going around to the different scrap yards and seeing what's going on.
Yes, we will be going to different yards and people who have material stored up in their yard. We're going to take a look at a lot of areas in Tobago today. So we spend the whole day in Tobago.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And finally, is there a fee attached to becoming a member of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association?
Yes. But the thing about it is when you pay the $200, you get the sticker for your 2 doors. You understand?
Yeah.
You get a sticker, which now people can identify you as a member. And it's only $200. And it goes for a whole year.
All right, well, you heard it here, guys. So there is a streamlining process that is happening within the Scrap Iron Dealers Association and industry. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.